What's going on, everybody? Shoot this video at night. Don't really matter since y'all never see my face anyway, so it doesn't matter. But want to touch bases with everybody. Let everybody know that we got a bear problem right now, evidently. I saw on the news where a bear broke into a cabin and injured a man. First reports was went through a locked door. But then the second reports are the door wasn't locked, but the bear still got in and injured the man. And just the other day, I saw where the national park has closed some trails due to aggressive black bears. Now, that's the first time that I know that that's ever happened. I'm not saying it hasn't happened before, but since I can remember, I've never known the trails to close due to aggressive bears being in the area. I thought that was odd. You remember it wasn't too long ago, it was don't step on the wildflowers, stay on the trails. Now the trails are closed, so I don't know. Y'all can find that on WBIR.com or maybe WVLT. Those are two of the local news groups around here. I want to tell you about a story that's passed on to me about a old rocking chair that used to be in our family. I never seen the chair. I only heard tell about it. It had come from a lady whose son fought in the Civil War. And the story behind the chair was she would sit outside on the porch and she would rock in this old rocker. Morning, noon, night, she would sit out there and rock. Waiting on her son to come home. Her husband had passed away. Her son was off fighting in the Civil War. And that's basically all she had left in life to hold on to was her 18, 19-year-old son. And he never returned home. The Civil War came and gone, and he never returned home, and she never heard what happened to him. She don't know if he died, got killed on a battlefield, run off, captured. She never heard anything. And so this would cause her to sit on the porch and wait on him for years after the Civil War was over. And eventually they found her. She had sort of went mad, maybe dementia. But anyway, she kind of lost it. And they found her one morning, froze to death in the old chair. Well, what happens to the chair is it goes to my family, as these people were neighbors with some of my cousins, first cousins. So they acquire the old rocking chair. And it's quite a nice chair. They put it on their front porch. And for a week or so, everything was fine. Until one night, they hear something thumping against the house. Way up late in the night. And it's just a constant rhythmic thump, thump, thump. So the dad gets up, looks out, and this rocking chair is just sitting there rocking away with no one in it. And he can't understand what he's seeing. Now remember, we're way back in the mountains these people live. He don't understand what he's seeing, but he's sure that there's something normal explanation for this. So as he opens the door to look out, the chair stops. Well, he still can't explain what he's just seen, but in his mind, maybe a cat run across the rockers or, something like that. So he goes on back to bed. Well, a few days go by, and this time it's daytime. Everybody's gone to work and school except for the wife. And she's in the kitchen cooking, and she hears the screen door open. And of course, you know what these old screen doors sound like when they open. You can hear the spring unwind, sort of, and then boom, she hears it slam too. Well, she thinks that's odd, and immediately it does it again. Boom. It's doing this several more times. Well, she's thinking somebody's playing a trick on her, so she goes outside. Goes to the door. There's no one around. Nobody. So she tells her husband about it. It freaks her out. Really, nothing's done or said. Husband still thinks somebody's playing a joke on him. So we skip forward a little bit, 2 or 3 nights later, and they have to leave town for something for the weekend. They're out of town. I don't know why it was, but my uncle said that he had went hunting in the woods above their house. And while he's up there trying to listen to his dogs, tree a coon, he can hear something coming up out of the holler down there where their house is. And he can hear something really loud, like a hammer. And it's keeping rhythm. Boom, boom, boom. So he comes out of the woods, makes his way down to the road that's right across from their house. And he can see their house from the woods. And he can see that rocking chair on the front porch rocking so hard that it is hitting the side of that house. And I mean, the sound is carrying down through the holler that other people can hear it. And he says as soon as he steps out onto the road to take a better look at this, the chair stopped rocking. Well, of course, they tell this family decides they want rid of the chair. They are getting rid of the chair. They don't want it no more. So the chair's sold. And got another aunt that's by blood, not marriage. She wants the chair. She says she can get rid of whatever's attached to the chair, especially if it's just a non-malevolent spirit of a little old lady. She's not too scared of it. Well, it wasn't just a little old lady. It seems like any time something enters our world, even if it's good, there's something else that follows behind it. And that's true here. As she got the chair the first night, the same thing happened. You could hear the chair rocking on the front porch. You could hear it hitting the house. And this time, when she opens the door to look at the chair, there's somebody sitting in it. Something black. Something with no face, no expression, she said. It's sitting there. And then it turns its head and looks at her. And at this point, that's all she could remember. She passed out. She passed out. The husband found her laying down there. She told him what happened. She told him she wanted rid of the chair and everything to do with the chair. She wants it gone. Well, he don't really believe in this kind of stuff neither. And around here, back then, the men folk, they're either real stubborn and don't believe, or they don't let on. They believe, they just don't let on. So he takes the chair while she's at church one Sunday, and he puts the chair up in the attic. Well, 9 or 2 later, they can hear something in the attic. They hear something creaking and booming. And she asks him, she looks at him and says, "Did you get rid of that chair?" He tells her he put the chair up, it's gone. She says it's in the attic. And he tells her yes. So he goes up to get the chair out of the attic. He drags the chair out of the attic. He drags it around back to where the firewood is and declares in the morning he will break that chair into little pieces and use it for kindling to start a fire. So here comes the morning time. He wakes up, eats his breakfast, walks outside. There's the chair on his porch. And at this point, he knows something's wrong himself. He drags the chair around back and he takes an axe and he chops that chair up into little bitty pieces and does burn it for kindling. Now for years after that, they still had some trouble in that old house. It wasn't like it was before they had the chair, but I remember once she told me that even though the chair was gone, she could still hear the rocking of the chair on the front porch sometimes and hear it hitting, smacking against the house. Some of her neighbors claim that after, even though the chair had been chopped up and burnt, that they would walk by the house late at night and they would see the chair on the porch with someone sitting in it, or what looked like someone. And my aunt, I remember she swore up and down there was more attached to that chair than just a little old lady. There was something that attached itself to that chair that when this little old lady had her sorrow and her misery, evil likes that kind of stuff. Loneliness, sorrow, misery, death. That something else attached itself to that chair also. And she swore to that all the way to her grave. She died in 1986. She's also buried in this graveyard up above me along with my uncle. And a lot of times I pass by their grave when I'm telling these stories. Of course, I never say nothing or acknowledge it, but I pass right by it. And I often think about the rocking chair and that old house. I drive by that old house sometimes, it's still standing. It's old and dilapidated, but somebody lives in it still yet. I think about that. Think about my uncles and stuff he told me and stuff he done. But I thought I'd share that little story with you. Objects being haunted and cursed. I believe stuff can be haunted. I believe stuff can be cursed. No matter how simple it is. I remember one of my neighbors told me his aunt had a cursed ring. And everybody who wore the ring met their fate. I think 3 different people in probably a month's time, 2 months. And they have the ring in a safety storage box now somewhere or another. So I believe stuff can be cursed. Objects can be cursed, people. I believe a lot of this land is cursed. You get way back in here in these mountains, you feel something watching you. You feel eyes on you and you don't know where it's coming from. Or you hear something breathe. You feel breath on the back of your neck. You feel a cold wind down in the holler when there shouldn't be any. Should keep the wind off of you. I've been out hunting before, and as the moonlight shines on the ground and just see something pass over in front of the moonlight like it was behind you and you turn around, there's nothing there. Telling you, you get way back in these woods and off this parkway. You can feel it. You can feel it. Be it Bluff Mountain, the backside of Klingman's Dome, Allen Cave Bluffs. You can feel it when you get way back in there. Little Greenbrier. You get off the road, off the trail, and you can sure sense it, especially this time of year. I think the veil's the thinnest. Anyway, guys, I'll holler back at y'all before too long. And by the way, did you catch the arrowheads I put on there? They're more like spearheads. I'm gonna try to run down another story on them. I think I've got a cousin that's still alive that don't live around here no more that may have a few also. Anyways, guys, you all have a safe and happy Halloween.